Welcome to the deep dive. If you ever feel like your professional life is just one massive, never-ending to-do list.
Or maybe you feel like you're running at, I don't know, 100 miles an hour, but not actually getting anywhere.
Exactly. If that's you, you are feeling the core struggle of modern life, which is just, it's information and opportunity overload.
It really is a paradox. We have more tools, more options, more potential than we've ever had, but all that abundance is, it's just draining our focus.
So today, our mission is to simplify that, to cut through all the noise and find a path to, well, to truly extraordinary results.
We're diving into this philosophy of singular focus. It's all rooted in that old proverb. If you chase two rabbits, you will not catch either one.
It sounds so simple, right? Almost painfully simple, but the second you actually try to apply it, you realize how radical it is.
It is. Our source material today is all about this idea of going small, the art of ignoring all the things you could do.
To focus on the one thing you should do.
And that radical focus is how you ignite what we call the domino effect.
Yeah.
People think success is simultaneous, that it all happens at once. It's not.
It's sequential.
Always sequential. You line up your priorities, you find that one lead domino, and then you put all your effort right there.
I love that visual. I mean, think about the world record domino fall. It was over 4.4 million pieces.
It's a staggering number.
But that whole chain reaction only happened because one person successfully knocked over the very first tiny piece. That's what matters most. Okay, so let's start by digging into the beliefs that hold us back. The source material calls them the lies.
Right. And the first one is a big one. It's the lie that everything matters equally.
That every item on our to-do list carries the same weight.
That's the trap. Your to-do list is so deceptive, it's often just a survival list.
A survival list, I like that.
It's just a record of things you hope to get done, which leads to a lot of activity, but not necessarily productivity.
So how do you tell the difference, between the busy work and the real breakthroughs?
Well, this is where you have to use what the sources call the extreme Pareto principle. We've all heard of the 80-20 rule.
Sure, 20% of the effort gives you 80% of the results.
Exactly. But here's the secret. You can't stop there. You have to apply that rule again, recursively.
So what does that look like in practice for a real person?
Okay, imagine you have a list of 20 important tasks. You apply the 80-20 rule, and you figure out that 4 of them will get you most of the way there.
Right, 20% of 20 is 4.
Now you take those 4 tasks and you do it again. 20% of 4 is, well, it's less than 1. It forces you to choose the single most important task. It's ruthless subtraction.
Until you're left with the one thing.
That's it.
There's a great example from the sources. A team brainstormed 100 ways to get industry recognition.
100 ideas.
And after going through this extreme filtering, they picked just one, writing a book. 8 years later, that one idea, that single domino, became a series with over 1 million sales. It totally changed their industry's image.
It's thinking big, 1 million sales, but executing small. Just write the book.
Okay, the next lie. This is one a lot of us wear like a badge of honor.
Oh, yeah.
The lie of multitasking.
Multitasking is a total deception. A Stanford professor, Clifford Nass, was really clear about this. His research showed that high multitaskers were, and this is a quote, suckers for irrelevancy.
Ouch. Lousy at everything was the other part of that quote, I think.
It was. Because you think you're doing 2 things, but you're really just destroying your focus on both.
Because you're not actually doing them at the same time, are you? You're just jumping back and forth.
Precisely. It's task switching.
Okay.
And every time you switch, your brain has to load a whole new context, a new set of rules. It costs time, and more importantly, it costs mental energy.
The warning here is so stark, especially for anyone listening to this, in the car. Even just having an idle phone conversation takes a 40% bite out of your focus.
40%. It's comparable to driving while intoxicated.
Which is terrifying. And beyond that, when you give someone that kind of segmented attention, checking your phone while they're talking to you.
You're damaging the relationship. People deserve your undivided attention.
Let's move to the third lie. This idea that to be successful, you need a disciplined life. A sort of marathon of constant willpower.
That's exhausting just to think about. Nobody has the capacity for constant discipline.
So what's the alternative?
Success isn't a discipline marathon. It's more like a sprint of discipline, just long enough for a habit to take over.
That feels a lot more achievable. How long is that sprint on average?
Well, researchers at University College London figured it out. It Takes an average of 66 days to acquire a new habit.
66 days.
Yeah, but that's just the average. The range can be huge, from 18 days to all the way up to 254 days.
Wow, 254 days. That's a long sprint. How do you not burn out?
You lean into what's called the halo effect. This is where the dominoes start falling in your personal life. When you successfully build one good habit, like exercise.
Other good things just happen.
Exactly. Unplanned positive outcomes. The people who started exercising also reported less stress, they made better food choices, they spent less impulsively. You pick one habit, you get a few positive side effects for free.
That momentum feeds your discipline. I like that.
It does. Which brings us to the final lie. The assumption that willpower is always on will call.
That it's just there when you need it.
When in reality, willpower is a limited, finite resource. It's like your phone battery. Every decision you make, every temptation you resist, it drains that battery all day long.
This makes me think of the classic marshmallow test.
Walter Mischel's work, yeah. It showed the kids who could delay gratification, who could manage that resource.
They did so much better later in life.
So much better. Higher SAT scores by an average of 210 points, better stress management. It's a huge predictor of success.
So if willpower is finite, what's the tactical takeaway for today?
It's a timing issue. Simple as that. The part of your brain that handles focus, the prefrontal cortex, is the first thing to suffer when your energy dips.
So don't wait until 3 p.m. to do your most important work.
Absolutely not. You have to schedule your one thing early. Attack that lead domino when your willpower battery is at 100%. If you wait, you'll just default to whatever's easiest.
Okay, so we've debunked the 4 big lies. Now let's get into the path forward. It starts with a tool, the focusing question.
This is your compass, it's your filter. The full question is, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else would be easier or unnecessary?
That last part, easier or unnecessary, that's the game changer.
It is. It forces you to stop just prioritizing tasks and start actually looking for ways to eliminate them. It's about leverage.
You can't ask a small, vague question like, how can I increase sales?
Right. That just gets you small, vague answers. You need a question that's both big and specific.
Like, what can I do to double sales in the next 6 months?
Yes. That kind of big question forces you to think beyond your current plan. It demands a powerful new answer.
So once you have that big goal, how do you connect it to what you should be doing, right now?
That's called goal setting to the now. Think of it like those Russian matryoshka dolls.
The nesting dolls.
Exactly. The biggest doll is your someday goal, your future purpose. You open it, and inside is your 5-year goal. Then your 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, today.
And finally, the right now goal.
And each doll is the necessary step for the one outside it. It creates a clear line of sight from this tiny action today to that huge outcome years from now.
This connects back to visualization, right? The research shows it's better to visualize the process, not just the outcome.
100%. Visualizing the daily study sessions, the 4 hours of practice, that's what works. Not just picturing the A grade. You have to plan the path.
And once you know your one thing for today, the tool to execute is time blocking. How is it different from just putting things on a calendar?
A time block is an unbreakable appointment with yourself. You are defending that block of time with absolute commitment.
It's the maker's schedule versus the manager's schedule.
The great conflict, yeah.
Yeah.
Managers chop their day into 1-hour slots for meetings, but makers, the writers, the coders, the creators, they need big, uninterrupted blocks, half-day chunks.
So to get extraordinary results, you have to be a maker in the morning.
You have to be.
But how do you protect that block? I mean, in a real corporate job, the emails and messages don't stop.
You protect it with a vengeance. You have to get good at saying no, or at least not right now. When a request comes in, you offer an alternative. If I have that done by this afternoon, would that work?
Deflect, don't derail.
And if you absolutely must erase a time block, you have to immediately replace it. It's non-negotiable.
Okay, so this all requires some serious commitment. The sources outline 3 of them. The first is the path of mastery.
Right. Mastery isn't a destination, it's a journey. And the practical implication is, well, it's intense. It means time blocking about 4 hours a day for your one thing.
4 hours. Wait, for a lot of people, that's half their workday. That sounds almost impossible.
It's a radical demand, I know. But that's the difference between good results and extraordinary results.
Yeah.
It's the minimum for true, deep, deliberate practice.
That puts it in perspective. I mean, the founder of judo, Jigoro Kano, asked to be buried in a white belt.
The emblem of a beginner. because the journey of learning is never over.
Okay, commitment 2. Move from E to P. What does that mean?
E is for entrepreneurial. That's when you're just relying on your natural existing abilities. It works for a while, but it leads to an okay plateau where you stop growing.
And P is for purposeful.
Purposeful, committing to new thinking, new skills, new systems, actively doing what feels unnatural or difficult to break through that ceiling.
Like a salesperson who's great with people, that's their E. But to get to the next level, they have to learn the P of complex data analysis.
That's a perfect example. It's learning the hard, new skills that unlocks the next level.
And the third commitment is living the accountability cycle.
This one is huge. The stats are just stunning. Dr. Gail Matthews found that people who wrote down their goals A and D sent progress reports to a friend.
We're how much more likely to achieve them?
76.7% more likely. Successful people know motivation comes and goes, but accountability is constant. They actively seek out coaches and mentors.
So we've got the path, but now we need the warnings. The 4 thieves of productivity. Number 1 is the inability to say no.
You have to get this. Saying yes to anything that isn't your one thing is by default saying no to your one thing. Steve Jobs said no to 340 products to focus Apple on just 10.
Thief number 2, the fear of chaos.
When you dedicate 4 hours to one project, chaos will show up everywhere else. Messy closets, unreturned calls. It's guaranteed.
You just have to accept it.
You do. Accept it, manage it, and trust that the success from your core work will let you hire help later. Don't let the mess derail you.
Thief number 3 is poor health habits.
Health is your foundational energy. It's not secondary. The sources suggest a daily energy plan. Start with meditation or prayer, then eat right, exercise, sleep.
Then connect with loved ones. Plan your goals.
And only then, time block, your one thing. Energy management comes before time management.
And the final thief, an environment that doesn't support your goals.
This is people and place. Surround yourself with high achievers, but also physically clear your path. Don't walk past the coffee pot or the TV. Turn off notifications. Make your work bunker frictionless.
It's fascinating how all these pieces lock together: purpose, priority, and productivity.
They're an iceberg. Productivity and profit, that's just the tip you can see. What holds it all up is the massive foundation under the water, your purpose and your priority.
So if you get that right, if you embrace this focus, what's the ultimate return?
A life with fewer regrets. Bronnieware's research on the dying found the top regrets were things like, I wish I hadn't worked so hard and I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends.
Making a living instead of building a life.
Exactly. A focused life lets you prioritize what really matters, at work and at home, so you build a life, not just a resume.
That reminds me of that closing story about the father who gives his son a puzzle of a world map.
Yeah, he tears it up, thinks it'll take hours, but the son finishes it in minutes.
Because on the back there was a picture of a person.
And the boy said, when I put the man together, the world just fell into place.
Success is an inside job. You are the first domino. Get yourself and your focus together, and your world falls into place.
The path is clear. So the question for you is simple. What's the one thing you can do right now, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
Don't just think about it. Write it down. Block the time.
And that's your deep dive into the power of radical, life-changing focus. We'll see you next time.